So it's like 5 to 1 now, which means it's about time for gym.
I am Tayla and I'm iGoMoon's inbound marketing consultant.
Tayla, what happened?
Even though I'm remote, I get to still participate. And when the team came to Cape Town in November last year, I believe you joined them, you were with them. I had the privilege of meeting them. I had a call from Matthias on I think it was the Thursday night. He's like, Tayla, come and join. We're all going for dinner, you have to come. And obviously I wasn't gonna miss that opportunity.
Help you, Tayla, to feel a bit home.
I will address the accent or the elephant in the room. I get asked this a lot. Are you American? Or if you need to fit your kids, or if you have other responsibilities. I start my day an hour after everyone. In South Africa, with the time difference, it being winter in Sweden, I'm starting my day at 9 o'clock in the morning. We all are very much into upskilling and staying on top of everything. So
also, I have the premium content done. I want to do another promotional post.
I think any excuse to get out of the house is great, especially working from home. I don't get that transition from work life, home life.
I det här så försöker jag illustrera iGoMoons resa som en bergsbestigning.
Jag ville bygga Sveriges bästa arbetsplats.
Hi, I am Tayla and I'm iGoMoon's inbound marketing consultant working on iGoMoon's internal marketing and brand communications.
Tayla, what happened?
How was the Monday morning meeting?
It was good. It was a long one. I hosted, so that was fun. Even though I'm remote, I get to still participate with everyone working from home at the moment, so that's great. Yeah, we talked a lot about some internal issues and concerns, and I got a bit of an insight into how Matthias operates. So he handled everything really well, and I love how transparent he was. So it was a really productive meeting. It was a long one.
Yeah, and like you said, you're working remote. Can you describe that situation?
Yeah, so that's been an interesting, very interesting process. I think for anyone starting a job from their living room. It's been good though. I think with the whole world and having dealt with COVID last year, everyone's gotten a bit more comfortable being online and taking meetings, so that's been helpful. But yeah, hosting M3 the first time was a little bit more challenging because everyone was in the office, so hearing and the mic and everything was a little bit more complicated, but I think we sorted that out. We've upgraded everything in the office in Sweden. So we all just plug in, everyone calls in from home. Yeah, it was fun. I like being involved.
Help you, Tayla, to feel a bit home. So our values.
Working remote has its challenges, but like I said, with COVID happening last year, I think all companies have moved into this remote working lifestyle. The only challenges I'm having in terms of creating content is when we need to get images and things like that. I can't obviously be in the presence of everyone and get those photos, but it just means we have to collaborate a bit more. I have to share my ideas a lot more often with everyone. I have to ask everyone for a little bit more help. But in terms of the day-to-day, I'm very much included the same way everyone there is. It hasn't been too difficult to collaborate.
With all these negative things with the pandemic and everything is happening, maybe there was some luck in it that you started at this point because the company had to adapt to it either way.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I always say. It was kind of a lucky moment. I think I'd feel a lot more isolated if it was just me on the calls, phoning in or doing Google Meets, but because so many other people are working from home. And that's something that iGoMoon, I think, has done even before the pandemic. I know that iGoMoon does that really well, allows everyone to, with flexi time, or if you need to fit your kids, or if you have other responsibilities, they're very open to everyone telecommuting if you need to, and working from home if you need to. So I think the culture of iGoMoon facilitates this sort of work lifestyle very, very well.
And how does a regular day for you look like? Like today, for example, walk us through.
Okay, so one thing that is a bit different is I start my day an hour after everyone. So in South Africa, with the time difference it being winter in Sweden, I'm starting my day at 9 o'clock in the morning. So I have a really nice, slow introduction to the day. I typically get up, I'll go walk my dog Zara. He's our chief distraction officer at iGoMoon. So we'll go for a walk in the park, and then I can go grab my coffee. I sometimes take my coffee first, and then we go to the park, depending on how I wake up. And then we'll do the walk. I'll come home, just get a little bit organized for the day, probably do an hour of work, or I'll do an hour of HubSpot Academy, some of the trainings that the team has given me and suggested. We all are very much into upskilling and staying on top of everything. So if someone's recommended a course, I'll start that in the morning and then wait for the team to get up. And once they're in the office at 8 a.m., it's 9 a.m. for me, so we'll do our stand-up meeting.
Also, I have the premium contents done. I don't know if you want to give it one more look over before I hand it over to... I want to do another promotional post, update our list on the Zoom webinar.
And we'll all stand up, even if we're not in the office, and just talk about our day, what we're planning to do, what tasks we have to achieve. If we didn't finish something the day before, we'll touch base on it to see what we can do to make sure we get it done today.
And I want to also touch base with Henrik, just if he needs anything from my side. Who can I pass it on to? Henrik, have you been?
Yeah.
And then it starts. We all kind of sign off, and I continue with whatever task is needing to be prioritized. And then if we have any calls or if I have any questions, I'll just Slack someone or direct message them, get them on a call quickly. We definitely believe in calling over Slack messages just because it helps avoid any communication errors or anything lost in translation. And then at the end of the day, we all come back together and we do a stand down meeting. So we'll talk about what we achieved that day, and if we had any challenges or anything blocking us, what we can do to help each other, or hopefully not allow it to challenge us tomorrow.
Yeah, that'll be my day. Challenges, I don't have enough time to achieve everything I wanted to. So a lot of things are going to roll over to tomorrow, I think.
And then that's pretty much my day. So I end around 6 p.m.
And what are some things that you like to do in your free time? You mentioned that you were about to do home gym on lunch, for example.
So it's like 5 to 1 now, which means it's about time for gym. I've just smashed some work.
Yes, so it's been such a nice thing since going into our second wave of our lockdown. So I've been gymming at home during lunchtime.
We're going to break up our day with a quick 45-minute to an hour gym session.
But I'll go back to gymming at my actual gym after work. So I typically do that after stand down. I'll go straight to the gym.
Because of COVID, I've been gymming at home, so I haven't been going into the gym, but I've actually really liked it. It's a nice way to break up the day and get your head outside of work for a little bit. So I'm going to take you along with me. We're going to gym outside because it's such a nice day. Let's go have a quick session with my personal trainer. His name's also David. Thanks, David. Have a good weekend. Bye. I think any excuse to get out of the house is great, especially working from home. I don't get that, that transition from work life, home life. So I think it's super important at the end of the day to just get out of the house, even if it's for a 10-minute walk around the block. I'm a third culture kid, so I will address the accent or the elephant in the room. I get asked this a lot. Are you American? I'm not American. I grew up expatting my whole life. So when I was 5 years old, I left South Africa, which is where I was born, and I started expatting around Africa. So I've lived in Malawi, Zambia, Zimbabwe, South Africa, obviously, and Kenya.
Is that why it says Kenya also on your Skype profile?
Oh, is that what it says? Yeah. That's why. I set it up there probably. And so I was in international schooling, so my teachers were predominantly American, so I picked up the accent very quickly. So I had a very unconventional childhood and upbringing, just growing up in all the different African countries. Yeah, it makes my story a little bit different, so I'm glad I got to do that.
How did you come in contact with iGoMoon? Yeah.
So it's
Tell us.
quite a long story. I was working with a social enterprise called Cancer Dojo, and the founder, Con British, is an incredible man. He had a brain tumor, so he's dedicated his whole life, and he survived. Obviously, he survived brain cancer, and he's dedicated his life to helping cancer survivors overcome their challenges through creativity. And he's been in the industry in advertising for decades. So it was actually a moment of serendipity that I was working with him, and someone he knows was looking for a copywriter, and he put my name forward, and that person was Mark, who used to work at iGoMoon a few years ago, or a year, maybe 2 years now. So Mark worked with the team, and so he got my contact information, and I got in touch with Matthias, and I worked with the team on a project. And yeah, we kept in touch ever since that website went live. I was working mainly with Jonathan, and yeah, we stayed in touch over the year. And when the team came to Cape Town in November last year, I believe you joined them, you were with them. I had the privilege of meeting them. I had a call from Matthias on I think it was the Thursday night. He's like, Tayla, come and join. We're all going for dinner. You have to come. And obviously I wasn't going to miss that opportunity. So I got straight in my car, went and met you guys, and the rest is history. We continued the relationship, and here we are 2 years after that one first job, which is really exciting. And I couldn't be happier. It was meant to be, I feel like. We've been through a whole pandemic together.
Yeah.
I'm excited to come visit the team in Sweden. I think working remote, that's going to be a really big turning point in our relationship, being able to interact with everybody when this is all over and we can travel again. And I'm really looking forward to having the team come back to Cape Town. I think they'll be very excited for that as well. But yeah, I think having the team come back here and to get to show them around my town will also be exciting. So I look forward to doing that together.